Hello and welcome to the pilot episode of Dungeons&Dumber, an actual play Pathfinder podcast. I'm Aaron, and we are joined by Tim, Bob, and Vic. If you guys want to say hi.
Hello, this is Tim.
Hey, this is Vic.
And this is Bob. Happy to be here.
And before we start, I just want to say I apologize in advance if there's any audio issues, as this is the pilot episode, and this is my very first podcast ever. And yeah, so if you want to give me kind of a rundown of your characters, starting with Vic, who are you?
Alright, I'm Bartholomew. I don't know, do you want me to explain the character from my point of view, or like full explanation? Like say I'm a rogue, or just pretend I'm...
You don't have to like role play now. I want you to just kind of introduce your character and what you think would be relevant.
Okay. So I'm Bartholomew. I'm a performer, and my business partner and friend here is a monkey named Laszlo. We perform in the marketplace area of Soldier's Landing, and when we're not performing, we're hoping to relieve some people of their money. And
I mean, wouldn't you be doing that while you're performing?
well, one of us is.
It would be voluntarily. They'd be giving you their money, right?
Yeah, that's true. One of us is performing. One of us is not performing and taking the money. You're right.
So we got Bartholomew. Bob, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure thing. My character's name is Darius Van Allen. He is of average height, of average weight. He's got brown eyes and black hair. And he thinks the island is the greatest place in the whole world. He never wants to leave. He's the son of a merchant magnate that has a shipping company. And so his whole life, he's just done whatever was fun at the time. He's coasted. You know, he might not flaunt his wealth, and, you know, he ends up buying a lot more rounds for others than he gets himself. And he almost has a bottomless supply of gold, it is. But he doesn't buy anything ostentatious. He's just around to have a good time.
Oh, by the way, what are your characters' races?
I am a bog standard human.
I'm just a human.
All right. And so, for Tim, we don't have a full character sheet yet. We had to bring him in kind of last second. So we're rolling with the pre-generated character for now. But if you want to kind of introduce that.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to be Woodward the pirate, and I have come to the island from a distant land looking for treasure, and I found myself enjoying my some of the company here, and so I'm sticking around for a while.
Cool. We talked about the setting a little bit. It is a homebrew setting. Everyone comes from, everyone is on an island called Dusk Shore Island, and there's a popular port town where ships come in every day or every few days called Soldier's Landing, and that's where we'll be starting the campaign. Imagine a town where most of the people are connected to the trade of being on the sea, either dock workers, fishermen, or something of the like. And there's a lot of pubs and a lot of travelers coming in holy pilgrimage to Thornhold, which is the capital of the island. Thornhold holds a temple to the goddess, the Earth Mother. And so a lot of people come to this island specifically in pilgrimage to make offerings. And where we start, we are just a few days before a major festival where they give those offerings. So the town is livelier than ever. A lot of people have just come in. And so, as we start, everyone is at a tavern called The Lantern. And you three, just whether you know each other intimately or are just acquaintances, you find yourselves all sitting at the bar, and a man named Barclay comes up to you and asks what you want.
All right, I'll have an ale, and I'll have a small one for the monkey, please.
Yeah, I want a big mug of ale.
And I'll say, Barclay, give me some of your finest wine, and whatever these guys are drinking, just put it on my tab.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, kind stranger.
So Barclay responds, I see you're generous as usual. Will that be all for now? You want to play a little number for us?
I'd like to hear that.
Sure. I'll, out of nowhere, suddenly my hands would be empty. And then by like a little trick of my hand, it's almost like I pull the flute out of my sleeve and I hold it to my lips. And it looks like it's something I've done a million times, and I start playing something.
Would you like to roll me a perform check?
Absolutely.
17. Oh, you put on a pretty spirited performance. Describe to me exactly what you're doing.
So I would get up, I'd stand in kind of the center of the room and start playing, I guess, quietly at first, so that it's just barely audible over the sounds of the conversations that other people are having. And then as I increase in volume, the room gets a little more hushed. There's definitely some people in the tavern that might be annoyed that I'm there and I'm taking the spotlight again. So they might bury their faces in their palm and say, oh shit, he's doing it again. But it'll attract the attention of people who've never heard me play before, or people that know who I am and might start cheering along with the music.
So you do just that, and, before you know it, the whole place seems to light up a little bit. Barclay thanks you for kind of lightening the mood, because a lot of people means a lot of strangers here who aren't really talking with each other, but the whole place has kind of livened up.
Well, does that mean you're going to take a little off my tab, Barclay?
Let's say, the drinks you got for these two, they're on me for now, okay?
So I'll give an exaggerated bow as I return to my seat.
Yeah. He's used to you. You're a regular here, so he knows your whole shtick.
And I'll take out a single gold piece and set it down on the table. And I'm kind of imagining him like polishing the bar with a cloth.
Yeah, exactly.
And he'll come over, kind of see the gold piece sideways, and come over with his cloth, and then it'll suddenly just disappear without a sound.
Now, is that bardic magic, or is that sleight of hand?
I'm thinking that Barclay himself swept it behind the bar and deposited it somewhere where he keeps all the change.
Oh, okay. I was initially picturing you vanishing it as he was going to take it, but okay, yeah.
I didn't take it.
Barclay kind of nods in gratitude to you and gets back behind the bar, pours all the drinks you ordered, and brings them to you. And as you're kind of talking, you notice a figure come up to you, and they sit down and just kind of make themselves home at your table, and they say, "It was pretty good. Where do you learn how to play like that?"
Well, my friend Bartholomew here, and I'll slap him on the back. He's the one that taught me all my good songs.
And he looks at Bartholomew and says, "A monkey drinking an ale?"
What? This isn't just a monkey. This is my business partner. And Laszlo reaches out and offers him a handshake.
The man hesitantly accepts the handshake.
Laszlo goes back to drinking.
Okay. Now, I'm picturing Laszlo kind of like grasping his hand with both of his palms and kind of shaking it vigorously. Is that how this is, or?
No, it's like just one palm, and it's really smooth about it.
Okay. So, well, just for any listeners, Laszlo is a familiar, a magically imbued monkey with an intelligence of 6, which makes him about as smart as a dumb person. So this is a very smart monkey.
Laszlo, you're the smartest dumb person I know. And I'll hold out my hand and just kind of leave it hanging in the air. And I imagine him doing like a sight.
Yeah, he's not going to accept that one.
So the person who sat at the table kind of introduces themselves. They say, "My name is Isaac, first of all. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. And I am from out of town. I've come here in pilgrimage to the Earth Mother, and I need some people to show me around. And in fact, I need to make my way to Thornhold to make an offering to the Earth Mother before the festival. It looks like you kind of know people here and you know your way around. Would I be correct in assuming that?"
Well, tell me a couple things before we go. Now, do you know any good stories?
Do I know any good stories?
Yeah, I mean, you got to provide some entertainment on the way, right?
I thought that was going to be your job.
I'll just kind of put my hands in front of me and like push the air.
Because, I mean, could give you some, like, religious legends and myths, if you'd like, along the way.
At that, my eyes will go a little bit wider and say, "Oh yeah? Well, what do you know?"
I make pilgrimage from a far-off land to the west, and, well, I'll save it for the road.
I assume you're gonna pay for our travels. Not cheap.
Oh, I would never just ask for this for free. Of course I'll give you something for your trouble. I mean, I'm not too familiar with these lands, as you know, and, well, I'm just a little worried. You know, it's dangerous to travel in places you don't know, especially through the woods to get to Thornhold. And with all the people coming in for the festival, you never know what kind of shady characters you might run into.
Yes, this is why I came here.
Now you look like one of those seedy folks I'm talking about. And you good in a fight? You can handle yourself?
Oh, of course.
All right. Well, I'm going to then get to my lodgings for the night. Where can I meet you in the morning?
I'm gonna be meeting right back here.
He kind of thanks you for the acquaintance and says he'll meet you here at, let's say, noon tomorrow. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Good, because I like to sleep in.
After he leaves, you spend a few more hours at the Lantern, and things begin to get a little lively and a little heated. You see there's a table where people are arm wrestling, and
Is there any betting going on?
Oh, absolutely.
Darius would be there placing bets on who would win.
All right. You make your way over to the table. It's not like so crowded that you can't move, but there's people just kind of standing around. You don't have to push people, but you gotta kind of like slip through the crowd, so to speak. And so you see this burly looking half orc, and he's at the table, locked in arms with the dwarf. And it's kind of funny. This half orc is probably like 6 feet tall, and the dwarf is literally half his size, but the dwarf is actually appearing to be winning this arm wrestling contest.
I'll be cheering like, "Go on, you big stubby bastard, come on!"
For the dwarf?
Yes.
But you put money on the dwarf?
I put money on the dwarf because the odds are 3-1, and I can triple my initial investment.
All right. How much money have you put on this dwarf?
I put 5 gold pieces.
All right. So,
That's
in doing so, you see kind of a man as you approach the table with arms crossed, and he says, "Hey, you looking to make a bet?"
Yeah, depends on what the wager is.
You see, this dwarf, he's on a hot streak. Little bugger, you think anyone would be able to take him out, but, well, he's been cleaning house. It's 2-1 in favor of the dwarf winning. The half-orc's the new guy.
And I'll always bet on the underdog.
So, okay, so you bet your 5 gold, and what are Bartholomew and Woodward doing?
I was thinking of helping out.
I was eyeing up the competition to see if I could maybe get involved in this competition myself.
So, the dwarf slams down a half-orc's hand, and you hear, actually, almost the wood splintering on the table as if the dwarf was holding back until that point, and the half-orc kind of yelps. You wouldn't imagine that a burly half-orc would be capable of making that noise. But the dwarf comes out victorious, and he stands up on the table, kind of throwing his arms up. And he says, "Is there anybody who's strong enough to win an arm wrestle against me? Step up!"
I'll step up.
Well, do you say anything, or what do you?
I respond to him directly.
And with that, after he beat the half-orc, everyone was going wild. They thought for sure the half-orc would win, being twice the dwarf's height. And after he kind of makes this boastful challenge, everyone was basically assuming that no one would challenge the dwarf again. But then you respond, and the room goes silent. The dwarf kind of sizes you up and says, "You? Alright. You got a name?"
I'm Woodward.
"I'm Sid." And he kind of motions for you to sit down at the table.
And so sit down.
And the guy who Darius had left his bet with, he's like, "We got a newcomer, and his name is Woodward. Let's see if he can put up a good fight. Any bets? Let's put...
What are the odds on this one?
It's a newcomer, let's say 4-1 in
All right,
favor of the dwarf."
I'll put 5 gold on Woodsworth.
On Woodward? Okay.
And I'm gonna direct Laszlo to try and sneak under the table that they're doing the arm wrestling.
Okay. Would you like to make, I guess, a stealth roll for Laszlo?
Yes.
In seeing that Bartholomew put some money down, I would match his bet as well. And it would be my plan to start playing in the middle of the fight and try to fascinate the dwarf and distract him from defeating Woodward.
Oh, okay. This is getting interesting.
Yeah, if it gets... Alright, I got a 16. Does that get him under the table?
Yeah, with the 16, I'll just roll kind of... Let's say the guy taking bets, his name is Clemens.
Alright, my plan here is if Woodsworth looks like he's in peril, I'm gonna have Laszlo bite the dwarf's leg and try and distract him.
What I'll do, I'll have Clemens kind of make an opposed perception to see if he notices the monkey. I'll just roll.
Having Laszlo do it as I'm handing him the gold to try and get his perception away from him.
Okay. So he got a 15. In all the chaos and all the people kind of gathering around to see this. And by now, you are like in the spotlight of the whole tavern, kind of gone silent, but people were kind of rushing in to get around. So Laszlo sneaks under their legs, pretty much unnoticed. And how would you signal to Laszlo to do something to interfere, by the way?
I'll probably use prestidigitation and make him feel, because I could change temperature, so I can I change his temperature to make him feel like a ping of cold?
Let's say you do this kind of. This is a way you talk in code to Laszlo. Let's say he's got like this little bracelet, and you make the bracelet cold.
Well, he's wearing a hat, so I was gonna say his hat.
Wait. You're a rogue. You're a street performer, and you have a monkey with a hat.
Yes.
Are you sure Laszlo isn't actually a poo, and you're not Aladdin?
No, we're not doing this comparison right now.
You're fucking Aladdin.
I haven't watched Aladdin in 20 years, so I actually can't even copy it if I wanted to.
And the monkey is like a thief too. Okay.
It's not like this.
Okay. I'll calm down. So, okay, you can make the hat kind of cold. You can signal in some way with prestidigitation. And Bob, you mentioned you wanted to do a bardic performance to fascinate him.
But I would be kind of distracted by what's going on. So I would maybe just be fascinated by this little monkey crawling in between people's legs and under chairs that I would wait to start what I had planned.
Okay. So with that, Tim, roll me just a straight up and down strength, and with your character, you have what, 15 in strength? I'm not looking at the sheet. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, it's 15.
So you'd get a +2 to this.
Okay.
Nice.
19, not bad. So I'll roll for Sid.
Might not need your monkey.
That'll probably be best case scenario.
Oh man,
Nice.
Ooh.
you surprisingly, maybe it was the way he was positioned, or who knows, but yeah, Sid got a 6 and you got a 19, so you just destroy him in this arm wrestling competition. You just slam his hand down. He doesn't even get the chance to toy with you like he was doing to the half-orc before. You win.
Yeah, I'll just say I've been to a lot of places.
So, what did I say the odds were? 4-1?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, so, Bartholomew and Darius, you get 20 gold.
Nice. That 5 gold was all the money I had left.
Alright, yeah. And there wasn't, any ante to arm wrestle. So, unfortunately, you don't win anything. But let's say,
You have to keep going.
I'll give you 100 experience points for that.
All right.
Good job. Anyway, so after you
I
slammed...
would take half of the gold that I was given and give it to Woodward and say, it's only fair that you get this.
Oh, thank you very much.
So, anyway, after Sid loses, he looks shocked. And Clemens is like, woo! he doesn't know what to think. The crowd goes absolutely bonkers. People start clinking their glasses together. Someone brings you an ale, and that person kind of says, "Thanks for getting rid of that guy. He a real pain in the ass, that one." And Sid and Clemens kind of leave together, and there's kind of a celebration in the lantern. Goes on for, let's say, a good half hour. People are bringing you a few drinks, and between the performance that Darius gave and your arm wrestling win, you guys are pretty popular right now. Anyway, so as the night goes on, people start to shuffle out. How many drinks do you think you guys would have over the course of the night?
A lot.
Probably had maybe 6 or 7.
6 or 7, okay. What about you, Darius?
Probably more like 11 or 12.
Okay. With that in mind, why don't you all roll me a fortitude save? Okay, so with 6 drinks and a roll of 9, Bartholomew is quite tipsy. So to give you kind of a status condition, let's say you are... Now, you're not sick, but I'll just say you're sickened for the sake of, just being able to perform things.
Alright.
Same for you, Darius. You're feeling it. The room is spinning for you. You're not, puking or anything yet. But you might imagine that depending on the way things go, and if you get a good night's rest, you might not get the best sleep. You may end up fatigued tomorrow when it comes time to escorting Isaac to Thornhold. But for now, you're also sickened. And, as people shuffle out, Barclay comes over and he says, "I'm gonna close up the bar. You got a request for a last round or anything?"
I think I'm good.
Well, I don't know. I hope I don't have to carry these folks home.
Yeah, I don't think I can handle any more for tonight.
Darius, you there?
I'm here. I'm tired. I want to go home.
Yeah, okay. You guys know the way to your rooms?
Yep.
Yeah, I can help them out.
Out of character, you guys all have semi-permanent rooms at the Touchy Gnome Inn.
The touchy gnome.
And so you start making your way out of the bar, and you're confronted by Sid and Clemens. And Sid kind of walks up to Woodward, and he puffs himself up and tries to make himself look big, and he stands in front of Woodward and says, "Hey, what was that all about, making me look like a fool in there?"
I just puff myself up back at him and say I'm not looking for any trouble here, but if you want to cause trouble, then
Then what?
I'll do what I need to do.
Oh, you sped up there, voice-wise. Okay, and then with that, why don't you all make me perceptions?
Ooh, okay.
Now, I believe the sickened condition gives you basically a -2 on almost everything.
Well,
Well, could have been perfect.
is that still considered a critical success?
So, in Pathfinder, you cannot actually roll a critical success or a critical fail on skill checks.
Thank goodness.
Those are reserved for saves and attacks for the most part. I think ability checks might fall under that. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, even so if you were like a super great acrobat and you rolled a 1, you wouldn't just fall to your death if you're trying to do a trapeze or climb or whatever.
So who's Clemens again?
The bookie.
The bookie, okay.
So you notice Sid kind of ball up a fist, and because you do, you're not flat-footed, but he swings at you, Bartholomew. Not Bartholomew, sorry, Woodward. He takes a good swing at you. And what is your armor class? So it says you have AC of 15, you have leather armor, you have a good dex bonus, and you have a shield. Would you be carrying your shield, brandishing your shield at a tavern, though? Just, roleplay wise.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I have my sword on me.
So yeah, you probably would only have an AC of 14 right now. Let me just pull up some dudes, because we're going to have a little fight.
Is this a 1v1 or is this going to be a brawl?
If you want to join in, you are definitely free to do that. Sid takes a swing at you. So he rolls a 13, so he takes a swing at you and almost connects. But because you notice him kind of ball up his fist, you just lean backwards and narrowly dodge it. Sid is quite drunk at the moment, so he kind of stumbles as he's doing this. So why don't you roll me initiative?
All right.
Is Clemens also drunk right now?
Not visibly. You got a 4 on initiative. Why don't you guys just, in general, just...
Everyone do initiative?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, just say the result of your roll out loud for any listeners.
Okay. We're all doing it, right?
Yeah. If you want to... You don't have to. You can just kind of be a spectator in this, but if you want to intervene, roll
I
me.
kind of want to take advantage of the situation. I got an 11.
Sweet, okay.
And I'm trying to find my bonus for that.
Alright, on your character sheet, it's on the first page towards the top. It's in it. But let me see if the sickened condition affects that.
That's fine. I'll just take a -2.
Okay, yeah.
Damn. A 2.
Oh, should I take the -2? Then I have a 9.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Does Laszlo need it?
Laszlo goes on your initiative.
Okay.
Oh man, Sid critically failed.
Jeez.
He got a 1 and he has a -1, so he has a 0 initiative. So I don't think he's all there at the moment. But Clemens rolled a 19, so Clemens goes first. And in an exasperated tone, he's like, "Oh, Sid, not again! It's always like this when you lose. Keep it together, man." But anyway, so he goes to kind of drag Sid away. Sid slaps his hand off, and he's like, "Okay, if you really want to do this." And noticing that the two of you have kind of shifted your stance and look like you're going to join in, he shifts his focus to Bartholomew, who looks like the more alert one, and he lunges at you with a dagger. What is your AC?
What the heck? 15.
He doesn't really seem to be that well versed with weapons. But yeah, so he rolls a 9 and misses you. It's your turn.
I'm gonna... Wait, it's my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Bartholomew is gonna try and reason with him. I'm gonna be like, "Bro, did you just try to stab me? This is a fist fight. You can't bring a knife to a fist fight."
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna try
I
and
love
distract him. And I'm gonna have Laszlo attempt to pickpocket Sid, since they're like, he's not too much taller than him, and it seems like he could reach.
So make me a diplomacy.
Yeah, I'll do the diplomacy first. Oh, I got a 23.
And with that, Clemens kind of takes a step back and shakes his head, and it's like, "Oh, what was I thinking? You're right. Sorry about that. This fucking dwarf will be the death of me." And he puts his dagger away and says, I'm sorry." And he just kind of starts walking away.
Okay, no hard feelings, man.
Okay, now let's resolve your monkey stealing from Sid. So, when you do the steal action, you target a specific item, and depending on what you target, it is easier or harder. Something from, like, the belt would be easy
do I
to
see
grab.
any kind of pouch on his belt or anything that looks like it has gold or anything?
Yeah, you see what looks like an obvious coin purse hanging from his belt. And you see a scabbard, like a small one, probably also has a dagger of some sort on the other side. And then he has also kind of a necklace on, but the coin purse looks like it would be the easiest to steal.
Alright, he'll go for the coin first, but I have a question about stealing. If weapon finesse using dexterity for it, would that carry over to a combat maneuver? Because he has really bad combat maneuver.
Yes.
Okay, so
That's native for any tiny creature. And does your familiar have improved steal, by the way?
yes, that's a +2 bonus.
So yeah, roll me a steal on the coin purse.
All right, 22. Rolled a natural 20 on.
Oh yeah, you don't just steal the coin purse. Laszlo clutches and takes the whole belt with him. So you also get kind of this nice looking leather belt, and you also get the dagger. And after that, Sid doesn't notice, but his pants have fallen down.
How embarrassing.
He's plastered. Anyway, so Tim, you're up now. Woodward, I mean.
Yeah. So the scene right now is like Clemens is backed off and Sid is on the ground with his pants down.
He's not on the ground yet. He's still kind of standing there. He hasn't even noticed that this happened. He's still facing you, arms in fisticuffs position. He's looking for a brawl. He doesn't even notice that his friend has come to his senses and given up the fight. And so yeah, you're up.
All right, so I'm just gonna sock him in the face.
All right, you go ahead and do that. Roll me an attack roll.
So I'm just rolling with no modifiers right now, right?
You have a +3 on this one.
Okay, so that's a 14.
You connect. roll me your damage.
That's a 5.
Oh, max damage. Not bad. You sock him in the face, and he kind of stumbles back a little bit. I'm gonna say, just due to the nature of him being plastered and his pants being down, he's gonna have to make a reflex save or fall on his ass. Yeah, he tumbles to the ground. He hits his head hard, and he's out like a light.
All right. Don't mess with Woodward.
Don't mess with Woodward. All right, yeah. Let's say you get 335 experience divided by 3. That's not a nice number. That's 111.6 repeating. Let's say you get 110 EXP for each of you.
All right.
So, looking through his coin purse, you find 50 gold. You find lint, dust.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, you find 50 gold. And you find some silver pieces and copper pieces, but the gold is really where it's at.
All right, I'll split the gold with you guys, but I'm keeping all the other stuff that we stole by accident. All right, guys, we should bail out of here after what just happened.
So,
Yeah, it's probably a good idea not to stick around for too long.
you make your way to the Touchy Gnome Tavern, where you all have your individual rooms, leaving Sid the dwarf out like a light on the ground, and his friend Clemens nowhere to be seen. And yeah, you have a fairly good sleep, but why don't you roll me another fortitude save, Darius, just to see if you have a bad hangover, or if you're good.
Yikes, I rolled a 4. My head is still swimming a little bit. I'm still a little bit, dizzy.
Alright, so that was the pilot episode of Dungeons&Dumber. As the very first podcast, I'm still kind of getting into the groove of things. The audio, again, any problems we have, we'll be addressing them as we go along, and the quality will improve. But anyone who listened and stuck with us this long, thank you. And we hope to see you for the next episode. I hope to get to a bi-monthly schedule, so an episode every other week. But yeah, thanks for listening to Dungeons and Dumber. Have a good night.